Hey, brothers and sisters, today I have some scripture for you about war. I want to get into the mentality that is the only mentality to have, and that is that you were created in the Most High's image, and the Most High is a warrior. He's a conqueror, dominator, unstoppable, sovereign, holy, victorious. That's who he is, and you were created in his image, therefore called to do the same things that he does. And not only that, but also to share and teach people who he is. That's your duty, is for you to first be the student and then the teacher. Learn who he is and then tell people about who he is. And with all that being said, I'm just going to jump straight into the scriptures, and as I'm going through the scriptures, I'll explain the practical ways of how that breaks down and what's really going on and who you are supposed to be in the midst of this world. Starting out with Hebrews 4:15, he says, "For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin." I started out with that verse first, because when he's talking about high priest, he's talking about the Son of the Most High, Yeshua, and that he fully understands what he's calling you to do. He is coming into alignment with your feelings of temptation and weakness and the small aspect of being a human, and yet what he's calling you to do. So he's fully comforting you while simultaneously encouraging you to, yes, go to the battlefield. Yes, be the David and fight the Goliath. He's trying to tell you, yes, he understands that Goliath is massive, and everything that you see visually, carnally, through your eyes says not to fight Goliath. You can't beat Goliath. You won't beat Goliath. Don't try it. No one else is doing it. No one else can do it. No one else will do it. It's a defeat. He's trying to have you crucify all that concept and feelings while simultaneously acknowledge that, yes, that is a thought. That is a temptation. But he's trying to tell you that he overcame it, and he's calling you to do those same things because he dwells in you. So in every aspect, it's a double-edged sword of this verse of comfort, of you being weak. He's stating, I know you're weak, and I know what it feels like to be weak. So it's not just I know you're weak and I can't relate. It's I know you're weak, but yet I overcame. So and since I overcame, so I can dwell in you, and so we can have that relationship that the adversary tried to break, then I want you to let me dwell in you, and then we'll overcome together. Next up is John 3:34. He says, "For he whom God hath sent speaketh the words of God. For God has given not the Spirit by measure unto him." And that's going kind of in line with the first verse. So what he's saying is, not only are we going to, preach the word of the Most High, but his Spirit's going to dwell in us unmeasurably. There is no limit to what he can do. You think of what Samson with a donkey's jawbone, when he killed 1,000 men. It was like the Spirit mightily rushed upon him, and he himself killed 1,000 men in a short, brief point of time. What I'm trying to get at is all the feats and wonderful, miraculous things that have happened throughout Scripture are all through the Most High Spirit, and he's trying to let you know there is nothing that can be measured for his Spirit. There is no limit. There is nothing that can stop him. As we know all throughout, I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. And then it's like also what in Luke, he's like, I can do all things. Christ, I can do all things. So there's nothing to look at in any regard to be limited in the aspect of what he's calling you to do. Whatever he's calling you to do, it can be done. Next up is Psalms 144:1. "Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight." So as we see, just straight up, as well as Zephaniah and in Exodus, the Lord is a warrior, the Lord is his name. It's supposed to be, his actual name. They switched out Lord a lot throughout the scriptures. That's a whole nother topic I'll get into later on. But anyhow, he also in Zephaniah, it says, the Lord is a victorious warrior, depending on the translations. At the end of the day, we know it's a battle. We have the armor of God, the sword of the Spirit, the shield of faith. And the next verse lines up into this same aspect, Matthew 11:12. "And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force." So he's telling you straight up there's a war. And now that he's telling you that there's a war, he's like, I will prepare you for the war. And not only will I prepare you for the war, I will set you in a dominant, victorious spot of the war, that you are more than conquerors in every aspect. It's not just a, hey, there's a war going on. It's not just, hey, there's a war going on, I'll prepare you, kind of. It's a, hey, there's a war going on, I'm going to train you up, you are going to win, period. He's not a losing God. He is the Most High. He knows not defeat. So in every aspect, that's who you're called to be and to do. Crucify the flesh daily, deny yourself daily. These are all aspects of the battle, spiritual warfare. As soon as the Most High, the Son of the Most High, got baptized, what did he do? He went into training literally immediately. Went out to the wilderness for what? Temptation, so that he could be what? Tested, so that what? He can grow. Why? Because what's faith without being tested? What's anything without being trained and edified and enhanced and purified, refined? It's how it works. That's what has to happen. You have to go through the suffering. As he says, rejoice in your suffering, because suffering brings endurance. Character brings hope, and hope won't allow you to be ashamed. You have to go through it. It's the aspect of growth in the simple human realm. It's no pain, no gain. Immediately after Yeshua went into the aspect of fulfilling his calling and everything he was supposed to do, he went straight into training. That was the very first thing he did. He was like, I got to go train because I have a great thing I'm called to do. And then that's when it's talking about him being given the Spirit without measure. He immediately put it to practice. With all that being said, that's because he knew he had a very urgent, the most urgent thing to ever possibly be done. So he wasn't messing around with, oh, I'm just going to chill here and there. He was very diligent and urgent about his training so he could be what? Victorious, because that's what we're called to do, be victorious. Next up is Ecclesiastes 3:8. And this is once again about war. He's screaming it and like everybody's asleep. That's just the reality of it. For whoever this is for, God willing, your heart and your eyes and your ears are open. He says, a time for love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. He just told you straight up. People try to talk about like hate isn't good, and hate is absolutely, it's what you hate. First of all, you can't taboo the word hate, nor can you taboo the word love. It's because you can love and it be evil. Why? Because you could love evil, and that is evil. So it's what you love, and you could hate and it be good, and you can hate and it be bad, depending on what you hate. You hate the Most High, that's obviously bad. You hate evil, that is good. So there's variables in all of it, and just the taboo aspects. In order to love, you have to hate. In order to hate, you have to love. That's how it works. They're both simultaneously, always and forever. There is no aspect of you can only do one. No, because they're at opposition. The flesh opposes the spirit opposes the flesh. They're at war with each other. That's period. Next up, Matthew 10:34. Think not that I come to send peace on the earth. This is Yeshua talking. Think not that I come to send peace on the earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. He's trying to tell you, this little teddy bear Yeshua that y'all been hearing about for the longest time, it's all so fake. It's not real. It's not it. And it's a false teaching, false doctrine of this weakness. And when I say weakness, I mean the carnal realm. He came in the most dominant way possible to bring himself as low as possible, to show I can go to the very bottom of the bottom and still overcome it. And that's what he did, aka death. Overcome all of it. Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. That's what the verse is supposed to say. Blessed be the yeah. Matthew 5:44. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. So with all this aspect about war, I'm trying to give you emphasis. It's all a spiritual war. We're called to love our enemies, our brothers and sisters, the flesh, the fleshly bodies, the humans. Now, yes, there's spiritual warfare going on, and entities and things indwelling in them that they allow in, and it'll get to the aspect of maybe even being martyred, beheaded. You're dying for the Most High's sake, and it'll be, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's the mentality of how we have to learn how to fight. But if you're not trained up right now and you love your life, the moment that they hit you or they strike you, you'll allow the flesh to overcome in a rage and fit, and then therefore forfeit it. You live by the sword, die by the sword. Next up is Joel 3:9. 3:9 through 10. He says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare for war, wake up the mighty men. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up and beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And lastly, Revelation 21:7. Those who are victorious will inherit all this, and I will be their God, and they will be my children. We're called to be victorious, as he is victorious. So fight the good fight.